What is it do you like about Coke?
I love the smell of it.
It's raw. It's raw every goddamn year.
Yes,
Lord.
Serving raw, goddamn it.
Subscribe to Serving It Raw and let's keep it
all the way funky, uncut, raw. Serving it raw just like my boy Gutter Kane.
Yes, Lord. You done tapped into Serving It Raw podcast. I'm your host, Gutter Kane, the Gutter Man, the Pirate's Iron Chef. And today's special guest is a Seattle hip-hop entrepreneur, independent music architect, and one of the Pacific Northwest's most consistent collaborators. From building Game Official Musicc to connecting Seattle with the Bay Area and the broader West Coast, he's created a catalog that spans decades, dozens of projects, and partnerships with some of the biggest names in the culture. His blueprint has never been about waiting for opportunities. It's been about creating them. Servers, help me welcome to the show, DZ. What's happening, Franklin?
What's up, big dog? I appreciate that, man. That was huge, man. Just everything you said was just so uplifting, and just I appreciate you for taking the time out of your night to do this, and just having me be a part of your platform. I mean, I just wanted to support anyways, because once I seen, you doing your thing, just I'm always like a person who's supportive,
Yeah. Now you're a big person when it comes to artistry in the Northwest, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I remember
some people know, some people don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the Northwest best kept secret type deal. You feel me? Like kind of like on the scene, but not really like all the way full fledged. Like just blew up all the way type deal. But
so every artist has that moment where music stops being something that they listen to and it becomes something that they live. So I want you to take me back to the young DZ.
I got you, bro. So
in Seattle, what was life like? What were you seeing around you? What basically first made you believe hip hop, would become part of your identity?
I got you. So this is actually the first podcast I've done since I put together my brand new documentary that's going to be coming out. And I had a buddy that was doing some documentaries that was a rapper in Seattle at one point in time. His name, he went by the name Game Boy. Shout out Game Boy. He moved to Atlanta. He started sending me these documentaries that he was doing. He would do them on guys like Tupac, Nipsey Hussle, Snoop Dogg, not personally directly with them, but, like a cover story, documentary on them, 18, 21 minutes type deal. He kept sending them to me. I never looked at them for the longest. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad, honestly. But then I looked at one day and I said, damn, this guy is really putting these together in a real way. I like what he's doing. I hit him up. I told him, yo, I watched the Tupac and the Snoop and the Nipsey Hussle. I need you to do one of those for me. And he said, well, damn, I've never worked with an artist directly. I just do those on Superstars where I can go pull up all the information. If me and you did it, you would have to supply all the information. You would have to supply all the pictures and the dialogue and stuff like that. So over the last year, basically, I dug up a bunch of old pictures and videos and wrote a whole script with him and we put together this documentary and stuff like that. So I said all that to say this is the first interview I've done since then. So what you're asking me is real familiar on my brain right now, because we just built a whole documentary from birth to basically when I meet Kurupt in college. And then that was 45 minutes, you know what I'm saying? So we had to put a to be continued, and now there'll be like a part 2 that covers, you know what I'm saying, maybe even a part 3 that covers the rest of, my life story type deal. So to answer your question, this shit started basically, I was an athlete, a basketball player to be exact.
Okay.
From like real small, like, third grade type deal. And there was a high school called Seattle Prep in Seattle, and there still is. And the 6th grade math teacher at the grade school that I went to, which was St. Joe's, I went there K-8. It's over on the edge of the CD on the backside of Capitol Hill. Okay. And he was the basketball coach, the head basketball coach on the varsity team over at Seattle Prep. And every summer they would have a basketball camp. But you had to be in the 5th or 6th grade to be you know what I'm saying, in the camp, but my skills were so advanced on the court, and I would, was such a good player that he let me come special, several years earlier than I was eligible to come, since I went to the same school and he knew me and knew, we had a rapport. So I started playing hoop, you know what I'm saying, all over Seattle basically. And
Oh, damn. Okay.
and that was kind of, you know what I'm saying, just my introduction, I would say, to the black culture, it felt like, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of my friends coming up, you know what I'm saying, were black athletes, you know what I'm saying? Some went to the NBA, some went to college, you know what I'm saying? It's later in my life that all my friends became all the gangsters and drug dealers from the streets and stuff. But all my original black friends were athletes, you know what I'm saying? And people I looked up to, you know what I'm saying, when I was in the second and third grade were like black athletes, you know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan, and then older kids that were around me and coaches and stuff, you know what I'm saying, in the local high school scene, like a guy named Jason Terry that went to Franklin High School, Jamal Crawford, Nate Robinson. I seen all these guys come up, you know what I'm saying, over all the years type deal. So I'd say that was like, you know what I'm saying, my first introduction to the culture. But then, you know what I'm saying, my first introduction to music, I would say, would be every morning driving to school, me and my dad would listen to music, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't rap music at first because it wasn't my music that I chose. But for some reason, Pops was into all the greats of that ever was, you know what I'm saying, to do this shit, like Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown and Michael Jackson and the Jackson Five and Aretha Franklin and Prince and Jimi Hendrix and Luther Vandross and
Okay.
just,
All right.
Pops
Yeah,
was
buddy.
like Marvin Gaye. He was listening to hella the Beatles. He was listening to like all the greats of all times to present day. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? So
Yeah.
so I came up listening to music as a kid on my way to school since kindergarten, music
Okay.
that he was playing. So I was heavily influenced by a lot of great artists, Diana Ross, Lionel Richie, like the Neil Diamond, the list goes on. So then when I started, and we used to pass every day from one side of town to the other because we didn't live on that side of town. We used to pass by through downtown Seattle, and we would always pass Tower Records. And dad would go up in there, and he would, and when I was started listening to music, it was on an 8-track.
Oh,
he had
shit.
eight,
Okay.
he had 8-track
Yeah,
player,
buddy. That's
and then
back
it
in the
was
day.
cassette, you know what I'm saying? Like his car that we used to ride in was like a 1976. He's born in 1946. I'm born in 1982. So we used to ride in his 76, you know what I'm saying, that had an 8-track, and later we got a Pioneer tape player, and then we got a CD player. So at first, my mom wouldn't let me listen to parental advisory music. So I was into things like Another Bad Creation,
Okay.
Marky Mark and the Funky
Funky
Bunch,
Bunch. Yep.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Queen Latifah, shit like that. You know what I mean? So that was shit that I started listening to in the beginning. But dad didn't care about parental advisory signs. So then he would let me in his car when I rode with him, we would listen to NWA, and we would listen to, you know what I'm saying, Cool Mo D, and just all kind Run DMC and Public Enemy, and just all the, like, you know what I mean, motherfuckers that really started this shit, Eric B and Rakim and KRS-One and just all that type of shit, Wu-Tang Clan, and then it became Spice One and Sibo and Marvelous and X-Rated and Tupac and like Ice Cube. I always listen to Ice Cube.
Yeah,
Always listen to
buddy. But you named some goats for real.
Always listen to DJ Quick. Always listen to
Yeah.
Easy E. You know what I'm saying? I came up on gangster rap, and I loved R&B too. I liked, they don't have groups like how they had back in the day.
Days, yeah.
I came up on H Town. I came up on Jodeci. I came up on Silk. I came up on, you know what I'm saying, R. Kelly, Genuine, Drew Hill, like just all kinds of
God
shit.
damn, all right.
You know what
You
I mean?
music,
Like
real musically
just with
inclined.
music, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
listening to Salt and Pepper. I'm listening to Yo Yo. I'm listening to MC Light. I'm listening to Domino. I'm listening to Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre. I'm listening to all that shit, right? So all through my childhood, I just listened to the greatest music of all times. When it got to like and played hoop, you know what I mean?
Okay. So
So
you hooping?
so I'm hooping,
Hooping?
I'm hooping, and then boom, high school. Now I'm
Okay.
going now I want to say I drank my first 40 ounce of Old English or Mickey's Ice when I was 13, going into the eighth grade, right? I mean
Okay. You
going
mean
into the
to
ninth
ninth grade?
going into the ninth grade. I was 13, about to be 14 because my birthday's in August. Drinking my first 40 ounce of Old English and smoking weed out of an apple where you poke the top and then
Oh
poke the
yeah.
side
Yeah.
and then
Well, that's
smoking out of a pop can, you know what I'm saying, with neighborhood friends that were a little older than me that could get weed and stuff, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because like I said, I was only 13, and we
Yeah.
would stand in front of the corner store and we would ask people that were older that looked 21, could they buy us a beer type deal, you know? And
Yeah, I got you.
that's how I always got it. So I said that to say this, that started getting drunk, started freestyling. Somehow freestyles started coming out. Other people started freestyling. We were freestyling over beats that had lyrics over them, just rapping over the lyrics, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then somehow, you know what I'm saying, instrumentals would come in here and there or something. So we used to have these things called keggers in high school where we met up in a park and all the kids would get a keg, and then we would get keg cups and everybody would get drunk and everybody would start freestyling. And then I just kept freestyling, bro, all through high school with different groups of friends at different parties when I was drunk, because I think it happened when I was drunk because the confidence was there. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you're more confident to spit a rap in front of strangers or talk to a female when you're drinking and stuff, you know? So boom, that ran all the way into to college. I went to the University of Arizona in
Oh,
Tucson,
okay.
Arizona.
Hold up before you get to the college. Now, when did you start writing, or did you?
College. I'm getting
Oh,
there.
you did? Okay.
Should I keep going, or you got any more questions about that part?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on before we get to the college.
I went to two high schools. I went to two high schools. I played football and I played basketball. I went to grade school K through 8 at St. Joe's. I went to Blanchette High School for 2 years. Got asked to leave that high school because I was playing loud music, sagging my pants, had my ears pierced, had sideburns and facial hair. They were just all over me all the time, you know. So then I
Okay.
went to
Now hold on. All the rappers that you named.
yeah,
Okay. Who were the top 5 artists that shaped you?
Tupac #1,
Okay.
Snoop Dogg #2, Ice Cube #3, Tupac, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg. I don't know. I listen to DJ Quick a lot.
You got one more.
I mean, probably got to be. I listen to the Dog Pound a lot too.
Dog Pound. Okay.
Yeah, but then later in life, though, Messy Marv, when he came out, he shaped things, and T
Yeah.
Nutty also and Sibo shaped things. So they got to be, you know, in an underground kind of category later in time because they weren't out at the same time as all those other names I just named. You know,
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
right?
Now,
Yeah,
hold on. Okay. Now, hold on. Now, you started freestyling in high school. Okay. But you didn't start recording until you got in college.
right.
Okay. So, what was the transition like from being a fan of the culture to actually stepping in the studio and creating like your first project? Because obviously that's where you're going. Is
Right.
once you actually got into college, that's when you started writing and stuff like that. So, okay.
Right. So like my first year of college, boom, I was out there, same shit, getting drunk, freestyling, you know what I'm saying, making a lot of new friends. I was out there by myself, 17 years old, didn't know anybody, just, you know, there to make it happen, to do this school thing, you know what I'm saying? So boom, I'm out there. And then my sophomore year of college, I moved to a place called Entrepreneurial, and I had 3 other roommates, you know what I'm saying, 3 friends that I had made, you know what I'm saying, or 2 friends, and then one got assigned to us. And he was cool though. And the one that got assigned to us, you know, halfway through the school year said, "Hey DZ, you're freestyling all the time. Have you ever written any of this shit down?" you're pretty good. And I said, nah, I never have. He said, you should do that and see how that goes, you know, but I never written a rap. So I didn't know how to format 16 bars, 8 bars, count bars, all that. You feel me? So coincidentally, my buddy, his name's Merrick, he hit me up. And he had another friend in my neighborhood named B-Boy. He always was freestyling just like me, and he was writing shit down, and he was spitting me raps out of his notebook type deal. He was roommates with Merrick. Merrick hit me up and said, hey, DZ, I got a keyboard and a Mac computer and a microphone. I'm making some beats over at my house. You should come through when you're back on Christmas break and freestyle over one of them. And I said, perfect. So I come back, you know what I'm saying, from college on a Christmas break. I go there, I freestyle on some shit, and I go back another, you know, throughout the week while I'm here for Christmas break. And when I leave, after I make a few freestyles, I tell Merrick, yo, you should give me some beats to go back to Arizona with so I could try to write. And when I come back, I'm going to start spitting written raps and we're going to record an album. And he said, cool. And he gave me like 5-10 beats. I don't remember. I wrote to all of them, came back and made a whole album that summer, right? And you know, had like one of my buddies, Jesse James, that was over there rapping, you know, come through. And I met a guy named Kazzy D, and he came through, and you know what I'm saying? He was from Houston, Texas, and shit like that. So one day I'm sliding through the town. I'm selling Summer Jam tickets. I run into a guy named Nino. He goes by Mr. 206, I think now, or something. He was in a group. He was like, yeah, he was talking about the Summer Jam, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about each other's car. And he was like, yo, do you rap? And I was like, yeah, I rap. And he was like, yeah, me too. And he was like, I record at this big studio in this guy's basement in the South End, like a professional studio. And I said, oh, for real? And he said, we should do a song. I'll take you over there and introduce you to the owner. So boom, he took me over to meet this guy named Mike Daniels one day, and he had a studio called Common Sense Studios, and he's got a nephew named Cuddy Mack that makes beats. And I go over there and I take Merrick and we import his beats, and I redo the songs that I did at his house now in a professional studio. And Mike says, Cuddy makes beats. You might want to check him out. I check Cuddy's beats out, and he is filthy. So I get a couple beats from Cuddy. I even let Cuddy rap. I let Cuddy rap on my first album. And then just I'm over there now doing a real album at a real studio and stuff. And one of my partners was always like, yeah, game invested and involved, like and popping his collar and saying that. So I said, I'm going to call my first album Game Invested and Involved. And then fucking people started hitting me up like, hey, DZ, Spice One is in town. Would you want to get a feature with Spice One? Badass is in town. Would you want to get a feature with Badass? Then I like reached out to T Nutty myself. I met a girl from Portland named Mischievous. It's a white girl that raps. She linked me in with Marvelous and Sibo. And then I met Killate and later X-Rated, and just, you know what I'm saying? Just shit started kind of just, it was something small, just started kind of just turning into a snowball. And just now I'm like,
that's the whole AWOL family you named.
Yeah. So now I'm like doing songs with, on my first album, King George, that was with Master P over in original TRU, King George. He's on my first album. Badass from the Dog Pound, rest in peace from Long Beach. Kazzy D, he's from Houston, Texas. He was like driving around Seattle in like a van with his album cover all over the side of his shit, saying he was from Houston and he sounded like he was from Texas, and he ended up being from Texas, and he was a cool guy. He's on there. And then Marvelous and T Nutty are on there.
Okay, now, and shout out to all of them. Especially Marvelous, because Marvelous is actually one of my favorite female rap artists. But
I did an album she's always been one of my favorites too. Just last year when I was in my group album mode, I hit up Marvelous and said, yo, we need to do a group album. We're long overdue. You were on my first album and maybe one or two others, but now I'm where I'm at now, and I want to, do a whole album with you. And so she came to Seattle. We did a whole album called Kings and Queens, because I feel like she's a queen in this shit, and she really came impressive, and she ain't lost a single. She's even doper than when she was back then. Yeah. I don't know if you heard the album. I don't know if you heard the album, and we did 2 videos off the album too.
Yeah. No. So I'm finna get in your catalog, but hold on before I go. Yeah. Marvelous and Zigzag. cold females
I
on the
just did a
mic.
song. I just did a song with Zigzag.
Yeah, them
I
two
just
right
did a
there.
song with her. Yeah, she was always dope
Yeah,
to me too. I don't know. She popped on my timeline and I just DM'd her and we
yeah.
got it done.
Dude,
I think
is
they got like a radio. They
yeah.
got a
So
pod.
they have a
Yeah,
podcast together, but
yeah.
I interviewed Zigzag. I'm in the process of setting up something with Marvelous, but yeah, those are two females, man, that don't get enough recognition and are cold on the mic, and I just want to put that out there. But now
I'm
your
gonna get
cat,
you. I'm gonna make sure the shit with Marvelous happens for you because that's my big sis. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but a
oh
fuck all the way. Unless you already, you know.
oh no, I mean, she told me she would. I just, she, like I said, she does the podcast herself. She has her own
Yeah.
show with Zag, and so just working around what she got going on, and then me working around my interviews and stuff like that. But if you don't mind, you go ahead and throw
Yeah,
that
come
in, like,
on.
hey,
I'm gonna
yeah,
put a
like
good
don't
word
forget
in
about
for you.
Gutter.
Come on, man. I
Yeah,
got you. I
yeah.
got you.
Now, one thing that stands out about your career is your consistency.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't know what
now.
it is, man. I just can't stop. I won't stop, man. I think I just always had something to kind of prove, you know, because there's like a lot of hate on me at one time for some reason. You know what I mean? So, but
Well,
I think I've surpassed that, and the disbelievers are now believers because I just been doing it so long, and the music's getting so good. It's like if you say something negative now, you're just a hater.
So, okay. So, people hating on you, is that what drives that level of output and work ethic? Because I know a lot of artists that struggle to finish one fucking album, but
I
shit,
just treat this shit like a job. I just treat this shit like a job. I try to come here every night and just get a song done. I don't know. Maybe it's from watching Tupac make a song every day. He said he made a song every day or every night or so, or 3 songs a
he did.
night.
Yeah, he do 3 songs a day.
And I'm just saying, like, I had this like resilience on the basketball court, you know what I'm saying? This drive on the basketball court where I was like always relentless, you know what I'm saying? So I think this is just like another sport to me, you know what I mean? This is just like, I don't necessarily do this for the money or the recognition. I kind of just do this for the love of the game, you know what I'm saying? Just, I love music, you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm making $1 million off this shit and I'm doing it for the money because I'm not.
Okay, do you create from inspiration or discipline?
I create from inspiration and I create right on the spot type deal, like turn the beat on. I'm gonna write a hook and a verse in 30 minutes and I'm gonna lay that shit in 10 minutes and I'm gonna put somebody on it tomorrow night or somebody's gonna come pull up in 5 minutes and get on it and mix it and boom, song done and I'm out and see you tomorrow and we're on the next song. So
Okay.
that's why I got so many albums because I just work like that. And you know how people are like, yo, I got songs I never put out before. I don't got a single song that I ain't never put out before. I got songs that aren't out right now that I've recorded over the last 6 months, a year that are in line to come out, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, damn, how quick should I release it? At least once a month. You know what I mean? So that's kind of just what I'm doing right now is releasing. I got like 10 new albums coming out. And I got one coming out every other month for the next 10 months. And in those in between months, on the 1st and the 15th, I'm putting a single out just to
Okay.
kind of speed up
Yeah.
the algorithm and kind of just get the wheels moving. I don't know. I don't know if there's a certain formula to this shit to blow up or if there's a, you know what I'm saying, a special recipe and nobody showed me nothing. I taught myself everything from scratch. You know what I'm saying? A couple friends in the very beginning said, "Hey DZ, this is how you're spitting 100 bars. This is what 16 is. This is what a bar is. This is how you count this or that." Somebody just helped me kind of just organize learn what a 16 was and a bar count, you know?
Yeah.
And then everything else I made happen on my own. No manager, no publicist, no entertainment lawyer, no financial investor, no big homie, no nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just all off of pure grind and hustle. You know what I'm saying? Just that helped me get to the top too. You know what I mean?
Because you've
Because everybody smoked that was coming around before weed was even legal. You feel me? So I had
yeah.
it, and so I would negotiate with it because people needed it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they was
So
probably getting it from was it Humboldt County?
I don't know. I think back in the day when I was having it, they said it was coming from BC, Canada.
Oh shit. Oh, you
It
know
was
what?
like way back, but like then around that time we was getting weed from Cali, and then Seattle and Oregon always had weed. You know?
Yeah. You've become known for something that I personally haven't seen since Master P, but
Sure.
it's basically almost the opposite of today's music industry strategy, and that's you've often said in another interview, you said collaboration albums create more traction than solo projects.
For sure.
It's
No, I'm saying that's true too. But let's say it's an album with Rich the Factor as opposed to Rich the Factor being on your solo project. That resonates very different. You know what I mean? Because it goes
okay.
on their page, it goes on my page. The fans don't know nothing. They don't know. Did DZ pay Rich the Factor for this? They don't know, is this DZ's album, Rich the Factor's album? It's on his page. It's an authentic album. It's got great verses. He did it in real life. You know what I'm saying? It's to them, it's a new Rich the Factor album with
Okay.
DZ,
So okay, when did you realize that building with other artists like that could be more powerful than just dropping solo projects?
because I was doing all these solo projects. Not only was I doing solo projects, I was doing Seattle projects too, called the Northwest Wing. I did four of
Yeah.
those. I did 4 Northwest Wings. Then I said, I can't do 5. I got so many wings right now I could fly away. So I called it the Northwest Whale Orca Movement. And that was another Seattle compilation. And then I did part 2 to that, which was a double disc, 28 songs, 14 songs on each disc. And these albums that I'm mentioning, the Northwest Whale Orca Movements and the Northwest Wings, these are Seattle-based albums, meaning I'm collaborating with nothing but Seattle artists. I'm putting Seattle artists on songs with other Seattle artists that don't even know each other, that never had a song before, just to see what it would sound like, because I know both of them type deal. I'm doing all this at the same time after I already got a big album with Kurupt, and I'm fucking with Kurupt, you know what I'm saying? After I get to college type deal, I meet him at a basketball game, and we shoot a movie and get some money, and the rest is history, honestly. But that was my second album. But I'm saying after my second album with Kurupt that we never even talked about, I'm doing these Northwest Wing albums to try to push Seattle to the forefront, because I've always represented Seattle. I'm trying to give other artists that are good rappers that don't got as big as of looks as me my platform for them to showcase their skills. You know what I'm saying?
You have 4 of them.
I had 4 of those. Then I had a Northwest Whale Orca Movement, and then I had a Northwest Whale Orca Movement Part 2 that was a double disc. So we could just say that's 7 albums. And right now, this last 30 days, I just did 30 songs with 30 artists from Seattle that I never had a song with before, that are either that I made connections with over the last couple years, or that are up and coming and I wanted to feature on there and shit like that. And that's called Washington's Most Wanted. And we got so many songs for it. It was just going to be 10 songs. That's what I usually put on my albums right now, is 10 songs. I just kept going and going and going. People kept hitting me up. One person hooked me up with another person. I remembered this guy. I had always said we was going to do a song. We never had one. You know what I'm saying? So I just kept it going. So bam, 30 songs for some shit now called Washington's Most Wanted Part 1 and 2.
Okay.
Now, yeah, but that's the grand finale for my Seattle, you know what I mean? Because I just did that to kind of, you know what I mean, save me a little bit of money, because I ain't even gonna lie, everybody that ever came around, I always took care of them. Like if Dru Down came and did a group album, or Sibo or T Nutty or Marvelous, I would always shoot them a couple bands, you know what I'm saying? This is business, and I'm the owner of the shit, you know what I mean? So if it ever blows up later and shit, they've been played on the forefront, you know what I mean? Just if I get $1 million off something I did with one of them, though, you know what I mean? Of course, I'm going to reach back out and look out for them, but I'm always looking out for them because I'm always featuring them on all my projects, even if it's like, I mean, if I did a group album with Sibo, that doesn't just conclude my business with Sibo. When I do a group album with Marvelous or T Nutty, I want Sibo on there as a feature, you know what I mean? So I'm just always like reaching back out, doing shit with all these people. But lately, these new albums I've been doing, because I've been working on some new solo albums, instead of getting people that I've been having relationships with, doing music with, I'm getting all new people that I never worked with before. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you're getting brand new faces.
Yeah, brand new faces. Kind of just because I'm just trying something new. You know what I mean? Like I said, T Nutty was on my first album. Sibo was on my third, you know, shit like that. But I've been making songs with all these people for a lifetime. Now I'm kind of just making connections with people I never had shit with that maybe I liked or grew up listening to or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just want to just branch out and have some new names on my shit, you know?
Okay. And I want people to know.
And just kind of just connect some more dots. I already been connecting a lot of dots, but if I never had a song with Mac Mall and I always liked him, why not do a song with Mac Mall? Maybe some of Mac Mall's fans will hear it, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody has their own fan base, you know what I mean? And maybe some people hear it a lot. If I do one with, you know what I'm saying, just like I said, Zigzag, that's a brand new feature. I never had a song with her. Maybe somebody like Zigzag, the white girl rapper, and sees her rapping with the white boy DZ, or you know what I mean, just whatever, bro. I don't know. I'm just trying to spread this shit out as much as I can.
Okay, I want people to understand. He has, when he says collaboration albums, he's talking about full-blown albums with a person, like on the tracks. And so he has collaboration albums. I'm not gonna name all of them, but I know you have some with Dru Down, J Diggs, Kurupt,
Yep.
Rich the Factor is a lot of San Quinn.
Five albums with Rich the Factor.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Now, when you look back at your career, which
albums with Messy Marv when he was in his prime, albums with Al Pacino, albums with, like you said, Dru Down, J Diggs, Young Bossy, Domino. Just did an album with Yukmouth, like C.
I was gonna say, Yukmouth is another one I almost slipped it.
Just all that.
Which collaboration changed your trajectory the most, and why?
Trajectory meaning like what do you mean by that?
So which one out of all the collaboration albums you dropped, which one made you got more attention from when it dropped?
I feel like this shit that I'm building right here is like a house, and or like a puzzle, and every piece is just another piece to the puzzle. Every brick is another brick that I'm laying into, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think all this shit is necessary to get to where I'm trying to go, you know what I'm saying, or where I'm gonna be at when this shit gets discovered. You feel me? So I'm just saying, just every piece is a piece to the puzzle. None of them blew me up more than the other ones. You know what I'm saying? But I've been spreading my sauce along a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? For example, I'm doing shit with guys from different areas. You know what I'm saying? So my outreach is in Kansas City because of Rich the Factor. It's in Akron, Ohio because of Al Pacino and Young Bossy. It's in Sacramento because of Sibo, Marvelous, T Nutty. It's in Long Beach because of Domino. It's in Oakland because of Dru Down and Yukmouth. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of just I just did one with J-Bo from the Youngbloods. Now I'm out in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Just
already.
I'm just moving around type deal. You feel me? Just planting these little seeds. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to J-Bo.
Yeah, I'm in the process of talking to Sean P right now.
Sean Paul. I got a song with Sean P too, because what it started was I was out in Atlanta in 2005, 2006 with Kurupt and Daz and my brother Dannon. And we went out every night and and we were meeting all kinds of people. And J-Bo became one of my best partners while I was out there. And I met Sean Paul, and I met Bo Hagan, and I met Lil Scrappy and Lil John.
Some real ones right there, boy.
You know what I'm saying? I met a whole bunch of motherfuckers out there, right? So my partner was just saying, DZ, how come you don't feature a lot of Atlanta rappers? And I guess the answer is because I've really been featuring who I like and who I listen to type deal. And I don't really listen to any Atlanta rappers unless maybe it's Young Jeezy or T.I. or something major like that, you know? So I said, fuck it, I'm going to do an album called Seattle to Atlanta. And I'm going to hit up all my contacts that I met in 2005, 2006, see if they remember me, and do a Seattle to Atlanta album and feature 8 to 10 songs with all Atlanta artists. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. It ain't out yet, but it's on the way. And I got, you know, J-Bo on there, Sean Paul on there, Bo Hagan on there, just a bunch of motherfuckers. A guy named Four Eyes that's hella dope. They used to run with Ludacris, and another guy named Shorty Putt that ran with Little John, and just all my connections that I made when I was out in the ATL for 2 summers running around, you know what I'm saying, showing up to studios by myself, you know what I'm saying, wearing jewelry with weed from Seattle that was the best, you know what I mean? So everybody
let me rephrase that then. Since I know all your collaboration albums are solid across the board, okay, and one is not better than the other. From people that are fans of the compilations or have consistently heard, which one has a lot of fans say stand out? Which one?
it's they all bring different people, you know what I'm saying? Like my fan club is going way up right now because I'm working with so many different people. They're all bringing their own fans. Of course, there's people that like Dru Down, that like Sibo, and that like T Nutty, that like Marvelous, but they're all bringing like their own fans. Like I'm getting fan mail from like every album, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like when I look at the numbers though, when I look at the numbers on my phone, there's like one album I think called Whales with Rich the Factor that's doing like the most numbers or something. I don't know why. You know, I know
that's not saying that
we got
other
a video
projects
to
aren't
that.
good.
We got a video to that. One of the songs on there. It's only 8 songs. Rich is really popular. I don't know. That's one of the biggest to present day. And then the one with Jay Diggs is like one of the biggest ones to present day too.
Yeah, I mean, all the artists that you name are goats.
And then like people
like legends in the game, man.
And I see like the Joe Blow albums like on the rise, and the T Nutty ones on the rise, and the Domino ones on they're all on the rise. They're all doing numbers like hundreds of thousands type deal, not millions, but hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
But
Now,
all together. Like I just looked on my TuneCore, it said I got like 13,200,000 streams or something, like across all platforms.
Gotcha.
And then I just looked on like my YouTube.
Congratulations.
And it said on my YouTube I got like 3 million views or something. You know what I mean? So somebody, and none of this shit has promotion. You know what I mean? None of it's got fake none of it's got fake views. Everything is organic. Don't panic. You know what I mean? Just, it's organic as could be because I just want to see who really fucks with me. You know what I mean? I could easily just boost this shit to 100,000 views on all my videos and act like somebody I'm not, but I'm genuine and I'm humble and I'm real and I'm not fake. So I don't got to fake it to make it. You know what I mean? Just everybody embraces me. You know what I mean? Everywhere I go type deal. It's just, I just must ain't have been enough places really to just where somebody just wants to help me get to the real forefront, you know?
I could dig it.
Like as big as Rick Ross and like, you know what I mean? But I'm not even in it for that though. But I feel like as long as I've been doing it, like maybe that's in the near future or maybe it's not. I don't know.
Hey, where you at is where you need to be. And as long as you keep pushing, it'll get where you need to be.
That's what I'm saying. Just I know I'm not comparing myself to anybody, but I know I've done a lot. You know what I'm saying? But maybe it takes a lot more. I don't know. Maybe I think this shit takes millions of dollars type deal, and that's why these labels are just, you know. You get robbed though. You sign your life away. I probably could have gotten one of those deals, but I need some millions at this point. Maybe I think somebody might come buy my catalog at one point and offer some millions or something before anything else, because they might just see it might not be DZs now on the forefront like Drake and Snoop Dogg and shit like that. Maybe some real rich people come buy my catalog and break me off some millions or something because they see a future in this selling for a lifetime. Because I think the money that I'm making now, it's like just, you know, small to me, but over life, I think that this could really be turned into something, you know, but you'd have to just not touch it. I keep touching it. You know what I mean? Every time I get $1,000, I'm withdrawing it. You know what I mean? I ain't really stacking up right now, but if I just let that shit sit for a lifetime, it'll be $1 million. Oh shit. Yeah. And Rich the Factor knows that. And one time when we were doing an album and, you know, working some money out, he was like, you got to give me a percentage, D. And I was like, man, I'm not even going to make the money back that I gave you. And he said, man, this shit's going to sell for a lifetime. He was like, all right, watch. And I think he may have been right. It's slow, but it sure is trickling in, but it's just slow, bro. I put a lifetime of effort into this shit. Now it's going to take a lifetime to reap the benefits, you know?
Well, let me ask you a question. What's a legendary studio story that you've never really told publicly?
Man, I've been seeing this shit all over the internet about Messy Marv and looking bad, you know what I'm saying, on drugs or whatever, you know? So, and I was in the process of putting my documentary together, and I just always remembered this one footage that I never brought out of one of those little tiny tapes, you know, I forget what they're called. And so, because I had a camcorder, and one time me and Kurupt went to the Bay. I was still in college, and I set up a laser voicemail number. And I tell this in the documentary too. And anyways, we end up hooking up with Messy Marv and Mr. Fab and Messy Marv's manager, and we go to this studio called Live Oak Studios in Berkeley, California. Kurupt's never heard of Messy Marv. He's only going because I'm lining this up and telling him to do it because I got something else going on at the same time type deal, and I'm using Kurupt as leverage because he's corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Mess is like, yo, you bring Kurupt to the studio to do a song with me, DZ, like you're set for life. Don't you want a verse? Like, don't worry about it. Like, how about an album? And so I brought Kurupt to the studio, and you know what I'm saying, we had a crazy ass session with Messy Marv and Kurupt. Kurupt did a couple records with Messy Marv and got on his album, and Messy Marv did a couple records for me and for a buddy who had given me some money to get him on a couple verses from Arizona at the time. And yeah, bro, it was a crazy studio session. And right now I actually just posted the full studio session on my YouTube channel, DZ206. And I used to have this shit back in the day. I used to pop up everywhere with my camera and say DZTV. And, you know, I made it a thing. And I would go everywhere because it rhymed good. And I was just so young and just, you know what I'm saying? But I would be around Snoop Dogg and shit. There was times I didn't pull my camera out because I didn't want to embarrass Kurupt. And I didn't want to just be that kind of crazy with it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things I've done that I never had a camera. I've smoked with Snoop a hundred times, but never was like putting it on a camera like a groupie kind of, you know what I mean? Because I'm a guest of Kurupt's, and Kurupt's there to see Snoop. It's like it didn't feel like it didn't feel right to do something like that. You know, I didn't want to lose my privilege of even being around, because how am I even like sitting in the room? It's like DZ, Kurupt, Snoop Dogg, DJ Quick, and Daz. Like, how am I even in that room type deal, you know? And I'm like 19, 20 years old. So I didn't want to overstep too much. But anyways, I got drunk that day. I whipped it out. I had already been whipping it out. So Kurupt's brother Hump took the camera. He recorded everything. It's on my YouTube, DZ206, on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. It's a crazy ass studio session. I'm literally in the booth popping Messy Marv's collar like that. He's looking the best he ever looked. He was in his prime. Kurupt's looking great. It was a crazy studio session. That's probably the craziest one I ever been in, it feels like. Or another one that I put in my documentary, when Kurupt took me to Jimmy Iovine's studio, which is like, you know, Dr. Dre's business partner, called the Record Plant in Los Angeles, California. Kurupt made a whole new album in 1 week. I was there the whole week. It's like a $1 billion studio with different rooms with all SSL boards, and DJ Quick came through one night, and the last night we had a listening party, and you know, Kurupt just was getting drunk and telling everybody, this is my little brother DZ from Seattle, and he helped me put the whole album together. It didn't matter if it was DJ Quick, Too Short. He was telling everybody that. So everybody was kind of like thinking I was somebody, you know? So just Kurupt always bigged me up everywhere we ever went and made me feel like I was somebody that they should know. So they treated me with that respect, you know?
Gotcha.
So
Matter of fact, I want to talk.
Yeah, Kurupt helped me get a long ways, you know what I'm saying? Just with relationships and just taking me under his wing and just being my big bro, mentor, you know, all that good stuff.
So I know you've been an artist, a label owner, entrepreneur, connector, curator, all that shit. So when you look at everything that you built through Game Official Musicc,
right?
What accomplishment means the most to you, not financially, but personally?
What accomplishment means the most to me,
Yeah.
like just through everything I've done?
Everything that you've done, or it could just be everything that you've built with Game Official Musicc.
I mean, just everything. It's just everything as a whole, you know what I'm saying? From where I started to where I'm at now. It's 1 album to 50 albums, you know what I'm saying? Clothing lines, Northwest Whaling, record label, Game Official Musicc, you know, music videos with my favorite rappers, Sibo, Yukmouth, you know what I'm saying? Just everything I've done has been a piece to the puzzle, like I said.
Already. Now, I don't like ending with what's next, because this platform is about documenting legacy. So when it's all said and done,
the documentary is next. The documentary is next. You can find it on my YouTube channel, DZ206. Probably gonna be a part 1, 2, and 3, but definitely tune in for that part 1. You know what I'm saying, and just learn just about me and more about my story and who I am and where I came from and how I got to, you know what I'm saying, certain points in my life, you know what I mean? And that's just what it's about, you know?
Okay. What is it that you want people to understand about your contribution to the culture?
I mean, I don't care about none of that. Like I said, I just do this shit for me. I don't do this shit for other people. I don't care if people consider me a pioneer of this shit or a superstar or one of the greats or, you know, I don't care about none of that. You know what I mean? I know just at the end of the day what I've done. So I know that counts for something, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I grew up listening to Spice One, Sibo, Dru Down, Killer Tay, Yukmouth, E40, Messy Marv, Kurupt, Too Short, Be Legit, and now I got them on speed dial, and they're all my best partners. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. My life is kind of surreal, is even if that's the right word. You know, it's kind of
Okay.
like, am I living in a dream? Like, you know what I mean? Just how is this even? How did this even become a reality? You know what I mean? Just with me being me. Like, you know what I mean? No, this wasn't like these are all organic relationships. Nothing's ever been forced, you know?
Already.
And it sure hasn't been about no millions or even no thousands because there ain't really been, you know what I'm saying, no money involved like that. You feel me? Of course there's been a small amount of money involved and some weed and some stuff like that. And that's how these deals went through. But I'm a businessman anyways, and I'm not asking superstar legendary rappers to come rap with DZ from Seattle for free. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, you know, just give me a deal. You know what I'm saying? Look out for your little homie, your little brother, you know what I'm saying, who's trying to do this and build this and put this and do this. And I could probably bring this guy that got some thousands and this guy that got some thousands, but just fuck with me for what I got because I'm just working, I'm balling on a budget. You know what I mean? Just putting this anything I got, it didn't happen overnight. It was built over a long time. You know what I mean? Just
Okay.
if you see me in a video with a chain, that shit took 20 years to get. That shit didn't happen overnight, you know?
All right. But hey, man, from Gutter Kane and Serving the Raw, DZ, we want to give you your flowers, man, for your contributions to hip hop, all your albums, all your collaboration albums, the clothing line, everything that you've done to help, you know, independent and up and coming artists and everything you rolling out. The documentary as well, okay?
For sure. I appreciate you, big dog, and I wish you you know, much success on your platform. And I'm gonna try to link up a few cats for you to do some stuff with because I think this is a good thing you got going. I really like the background, and man, you've been just a real one.
Before your ass go, you got to do white lines, man. You got to do my rapid fire questions.
Come on,
All right.
do it.
Ready?
You almost forgot.
I ain't forget, goddamn. I was gonna skip it because your ass. I know you've been blowing. You know, you've been blowing.
Come on,
All right. Most underrated city for hip hop talent.
Seattle,
Favorite West Coast album of all times.
The Chronic,
One
and Doggy Style. Did you say albums?
no album, just one.
Doggy Style or The Chronic, man, it's too hard to choose.
Okay, one artist you've worked with who deserves more flowers.
Rich the Factor.
Best studio session you ever had.
Man, oh no, man, they all been so great. The best studio session I ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, just shit with Kurupt was always great.
Okay.
All the group albums I did everything in person with like Dru Down, Rich the Factor, Sibo. So
Yeah, I know you was there.
So every group album was kind of like its own thing within its thing. You know where I really slept on it is I should have had my cameraman getting all the behind the scenes footage of us recording the albums. And just so you know, these albums that I got, we did them all in 2 nights, one night. Juice came here, we did 5 songs one night, 5 songs the next. Marvelous came here, we did 5 songs one night, 5 songs the next. T Nutty came here, we did 5 songs, 5 songs the next. Rich came here, we did 10 songs in a night. San Quinn came here, we did 10 songs in a night. Jay Diggs came here, we did 5 songs one trip, 5 songs another trip. Young Bossy, all in a night. Rich again, 8 songs all in a night. 8 songs all in a night. We was just knocking shit down, bro. I'm built to just record. I gotta get like my live performances up. You know what I mean? Just like not
hold on, I'm almost done. One collaboration album every artist should study.
Of mine's?
Yeah.
One of my collaboration albums should every artist study?
Yep.
I mean, anyone, because they're all the same recipe. You know, I put them all together
Okay.
the same way type deal. You know, when we do these, I tell these guys, man, I need 10 verses. It's going to be 10 songs. I need 10 verses and 5 hooks. We're splitting it right down the middle. And then I'll get, you know, all these guys on it after we knock out the album in 2 nights, you know?
Okay. One Seattle artist people are sleeping on right now.
Man, DZ.
And if Game Official was a movie, what's the title?
Man. Game Official the movie. If Game Official Music was a movie, what would the title be? Game Official the movie. Official game? Game officials?
No,
Gameism, you know what I mean? Something game related.
Because I know you got them little slick sayers, man.
Yeah, I do got them. All my little albums and all my little things, they're all slick. You feel me? So it would have been all that.
Want to let people know how they can reach out to you, even though they'll be in the description.
I mean, just DZ206 on YouTube, and I guess my Instagram is at DZ Seattle. And if you're trying to get physical albums, I guess they still got those at rapbay.com if you just want to order them online, or if you're local in the Washington area, Seattle specifically, or Linwood or Bellevue, I think they got silver platters. I got my physical CDs, you know what I'm saying? And just, I always got them in my trunk. If you see me in traffic, I'm still out the trunk with it. You know what I mean? Just, I'm still down to earth, man. You might see me at the mall. You might see me at the movies. You might see me at the gas station. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still out here like a lot of big time rappers are unaccessible. I'm still accessible. You know what I mean? Just, I'm still out here. You feel me? I'm just grinding still after all this time, you know?
Still hustling. That's what I want to hear.
Still hustling, man. Just
well, hey,
still hustling.
Well, I want to give a huge shout out to DZ, man, for coming through and sharing his story and keeping it completely authentic with us, man, today. I appreciate the insight, the history, and the game. Look, shout out to all the servers out there. Thank y'all for the constant support. If y'all rock with this episode, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button, man. Follow me on Instagram. New episodes drop every Wednesday on all streaming platforms. I want y'all to stay locked in, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Yes, Lord.